Marcos Andropov, the Pyre governor, had 2 children with Helena Garmenti. Marcos had given Dmitri Helena's eldest daughter, Aurelia, as a companion to his nephew, with the strict admonition that the relationship was to be strictly platonic. Dmitri obeyed the restriction for 2 weeks. His first furtive attack on his cousin released the blackness that grew inside him since he was a child. With each encounter, Dmitri promised greater acts of revenge against Aurelia's mother and sister if Aurelia ever said anything to anyone.
"I'm waiting,"
Dmitri announced.
"You know what happens when I'm kept waiting."
Suddenly, his pulsing anger was overridden by unfounded doubt. He glanced hesitantly around the room but saw nothing untoward. He considered ratcheting up his threat to Aurelia, but his anxiety, instead of fading, escalated into unreasonable alarm. Dmitri swung around, searching the room for danger. Unable to locate the source of the creeping nightmare, Dmitri backed toward a point where he could observe the entire bedroom at a glance. His body broke the sensors of the double doors, which led to the balcony, and they slid aside. Dmitri's heart raced in a panic, and he broke out in a cold sweat. Swinging his head to and fro, he was frantic to spot the source of his impending doom. Backing onto the balcony, Dmitri glanced overhead, ensuring the attack wasn't launched from overhead. Hundreds of meters up, the dome's transparent panels filtered Crimsa's weak pink light. Aurelia sensed her tormentor's full-blown dread. A small voice inside her mind screamed at her to stop, but there was no turning back once she'd started. Instead, Aurelia pushed, sending the horror created by sensing creatures crawling over the skin. Dmitri wouldn't receive her imagery, but he would be overwhelmed by the unsettling and unreasonable feeling of his skin under attack. The more Aurelia saw Dmitri swipe at his arms and face and heard him whimper, the harder she pushed. She was desperate to end her torture and had no thought for the outcome of her actions. Dmitri wailed and pleaded for the terror to cease, but the more he cried, the worse it got. His heart pounded in his chest and sweat rolled down his face. An overwhelming desire to end the nightmare engulfed him. Relief lay only meters below. Succumbing to the sweet temptation, Dmitri leaned against the railing and tumbled over. As he fell to the rocked walkway below, he thought with relief, "Now it will end."